Alrighty guys, what's going on? It is Mitch. Today we have a pretty exciting video. We are installing Shires Fabrication shock inversion kit. This is all a bolt-on kit, no welding required. Obviously these are made specially for my model Hilux. Message him for any inquiries about these, but I'm just going to be showing you how to do it. So we're going to be replacing the old standard shock setup with the inversion. So that's pretty exciting. I've got the tent off and I've made some room so that I can jack the car up and sit some stands under it and get to work. So to start installing this kit, you're going to want to take both shocks out of both sides. I had to go ahead and use something to pry the shock off the mount. Just if you have to do this, be careful because you don't want to ruin your bushings. With both shocks removed, it's time to mount the lower shock mounts. Once that's done, now's a good time to mount the inversion bar. Take the two plates with the angled section facing forward and slide them into position. It can be a tight fit, but it'll work. Then move the actual bar into place, being careful to watch for things like brake lines. Once you align the holes for the bolts, slide them through and do it up tight. What I found is it can be a bit tricky to get a socket in here on these corner ones. So what I do is I grabbed a shifter and just sort of made it bite around the edges and then did the other side up with a 14mm spanner. And make sure that you get it nice and tight because there's obviously going to be a lot of force on this bar. I'm going to go up and do the other side now and then we can start fitting the shocks. Next up, it's time to jack the car up and put it on jack stands. Make sure that when you jack the car up, you sit it on the chassis so that the suspension is at full droop. And it also helps to put a small bottle jack or a scissor jack under the pinion of the rear diff to help with the angle and relieve stress. The next step is that you're going to want to undo the U-bolts that hold the springs to the diff. These can get very dirty, so close your eyes or wear some goggles. Because we've jacked the car up, the diff will now drop to the ground and the springs will hover above. This is where you can slide the plate in and make sure to align the bolt on your leaf springs with the hole in the lower shock mount. This is what keeps everything centered and where it should be. Once that's done, you can lower the car back down and do up the U-bolt. You can see me struggling here, and that's because you have to then push the shock back in so that it can retract and then line it up with the upper shock mount in the actual bar and put the bolt through. Once the bolt is all through and done up, put the car back down on the ground. Before you jump in and take it for a drive, be sure to check things like brake lines and wiring and make sure that the shock mounts aren't in the way of anything and you haven't pulled brake lines too tight, just because that can be an issue with stock brake lines. Now that the car is on the ground and everything is done up, give everything a once over and torque it up to spec and then take it for a quick drive. The corrugations in the road will settle everything in, and once you come back, tighten it all up again and make sure nothing's come loose. So it's really a really simple installation really. It's super fast. You can do it, I don't know, within an hour and a half if you're mechanically inclined. If not, like me, it could take a little longer. But one thing to keep in mind is you will need to get extended brake cables. Keep that in mind for extra flex. A huge shout out to Tony Shires. Shires Fabrication hooked us up with this inversion kit and I'm super keen to see how it goes on the tracks. If you want one, there'll be a link down below to his Facebook page and Instagram, and shoot him a message and he'll make this up for you and send it out. Make sure that you say that Mitch from SOS sent you. So as you can see here, got the hijack up. There is a lot more flex that can come out, so we're not even at full shock yet. And there is more shackle angle I can drop, but already that is such a huge improvement to the stock ride height. Stock flexed, my rear wheel would probably be about here in line with this groove on the body. So that's like a 3-4 inches of extra flex, and that's just the stock standard shocks too. That is the inversion bar completely done. So it's a bit hard to see with the sun how it is, but you can see there's a fair bit of droop there. Inverted shocks definitely the way to go. You'll get a hell of a lot more flex out of it, and I'm really keen to take this out on the tracks. At the moment, Glasshouse is closed until the 12th of December due to flooding and stuff like that, unfortunately. But soon enough, as soon as it opens, we're going to be starting this here. So this is what I call the Glasshouse track map. So we've got a lot of tracks. I can't even count how many there are, but a bunch of just popular tracks, and this is where they are on the map. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do all of these single tracks in their own video. So we've got 22 tracks listed here. So essentially we have 44 tracks to do, and this is only these parts. These are only the outlined colors. So yeah, that'll be an absolutely awesome series. I just want to use the inversion bar, but all the tracks are closed, so there won't be anything for a little while, but that's okay. We'll make do. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I hope this helped. Shout out to Tony Shires for the bar. Up here, you can give him a call too. Smash the like if it helped. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.